So Mr. Stramilos, could you please tell me what you got out of today?
I think the security industry still has a fair bit of a way to go in terms of professionalisation and changing perceptions, but it's going to take a while. So public perceptions are still of guns, guards and gates. That's going to take a generation to change, but the change is happening. It's incremental, yes, and it's not going to be a revolution. But I think academia, I think police, business are all doing their bit, and I think it's all heading in that right direction.
So how long have you been in the industry for, and since you've been here, have you seen the perception of the industry change?
Unfortunately, I've been in security 20 odd years, and public perception is still of guns, guards and gates. I think if anyone asks you at a dinner party, what do you do, and you say the word security, they'll immediately think of the bouncer at the door. And they have a conceptual leap to try and think of a professional administering security, resiliency, whatever it may be, for a bank. And the one that resonates with me is being at a comedy club 10 years ago, and as the comedian was doing the rounds around the table, and he said to our table, that was the Westpac table, I said, what do you guys do? Oh, we work in security. Oh, you work for Chubb. And that stayed with me because the public, even people like that, can't make that conceptual leap to think that security can be a profession.
And can you give any examples of what's being done to change that?
One that's particularly close to my heart, because I've been involved with it from inception, is the Australian Security Medals Foundation. And a couple of times we've touched on recognition. I think security tends to operate in the background still. We don't praise enough. We don't praise ourselves enough. I think it's maybe because of what we do, but we need to be out there singing and dancing and saying, hey, you know, we are doing a very, very important job. So you recognise the humble security officer, and I'm always cautious about using the word officer. I personally don't like the word guard, but you also recognise the security professional. And when the general public or members of the public attend some of these events, they're quite astonished that there is actually a profession, and people do recognise it. That's just one. There's the OSPAs, and there's other things like that happening, and even academia as well. There's fits and starts in terms of degrees and these sort of things, but again, I see that going in the right direction. I still take a very positive attitude that things are happening slower than I would personally like, but they are happening.